Here we go.
Why force yourself to outshout the competition just to get your brand noticed?
You don't have to anymore. Welcome to Copy That Speaks.
All right, there you go. How do you like that as an intro, huh, brother? Copy That Speaks. Good evening. Welcome. I'm Brian Brawdy here with Mr. Lee Rowley. We're going to be jumping in the Copy That Speaks a little bit. Thank you so much if you transitioned over from the Mortal Up page, Brian Brawdy official, to come on over to the Lee Rowley for Copy That Speaks. Lee, how the heck are you? What's going on in your world?
Well, you can only be on the cover of GQ so many times before it starts to lose its luster. So you know how it is.
I know,
Yeah.
it's tough. You're running through the grocery store and your kids come up and go, "Oh, look, you're in that magazine," and you go, "Yeah," so many times.
Well,
right?
at least I didn't get put in the swimsuit issue, so that's
Well, yeah.
spared everybody that agony.
Everybody. Well, I say all the times we could have called this show Two Bald Guys, a Whiteboard, and a Clue, right? like between us, there's just a clue. Like we each have half a clue, so we put it together. But nice to see you, brother, as always. And here's what we're going to advertise this evening. Here's a big drum roll. Ooh. All right, watch them. You want to? This is our. Thank you. So no, you're thinking I really need to see Lee doing hand puppets. No, this is our noggin cam. So what we're going to be doing in Copy It Speaks, that those of you that follow along know, in our normal system. Now, grab your whiteboard. Say hi to someone.
My bad.
So there you go. My bad. Right. That's okay. It was framed up far enough. But what we'll be doing is when people call in and go, "Oh, well, can you work on some copy for me? Can you do some of this for me?" Well, then Lee is going to be writing, and we're actually going to be looking over his shoulder as he does it. See, I think that's going to work out good. Yeah, I think that's going to work out good. So we'll go like this. So now, there you go. Lee's looking out over the board, and he says, "Oh, okay, what are we talking about? What am I going to write? What am I going to create?" So that's going to be our noggin cam for all things Lee. All right, Lee, so I'm going to take this here. Let me tell you what we're doing. I am to the point now where we mentioned earlier in All Natural Being that I'm pretty fired up about the idea of doing a full-on radio show where we're going to do 3 hours a day. It's going to be drive time. Whatever it is they do to get this out of me, it just means more staples, more scars. So when I say all the time I have a face for radio, where am I going with it, right? I'll be a big hit at Halloween. Like heavy-set guys with long white beards are a big hit at Christmas. I'll be a big hit at Halloween. I can play Frankenstein. Maybe I could greet people at the remake of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I could do that. Right? I think that would be kind of cool. I got to tell you, I'm not digging this switching method. Let me switch there. Transition speed, manage. I want to go auto live because I keep forgetting what's on screen and what isn't. All right, Lee, so here's what we're talking about this evening. We're talking about being able to show the noggin cam so that as you come up with these really creative things to do when our guests call in at Copy That Speaks, which will air, normally it will air every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on ipmnation.com/trnow. But what we'll be able to do is say, "Oh, wow, what's Lee thinking? What's he working on?" And we'll be able to see you. See, Lee can't see the monitor. I got to get another monitor so that Lee can see the monitor. But that board is full on you, brother. Just so you know. But
Nice.
Lee, here's the thing.
Yes.
I've sent you a little paragraph earlier, and I know that you've been working away on it.
Yep.
And what I wanted to do was say that real miracles happen when you mortal up.
Right.
Right? And I want the show, All Natural Being, to be about what happens when you tap in, right? That rock bottom is the greatest place to be able to bounce back from. Right? Because that's the only thing, brother, that I really can in truth talk about, right? And yes, I've done the whole Death Valley thing. Yes, I did Yellowstone in the dead of winter. Yes, I've done the Florida Everglades. Yes, I've done all these other extreme things. But ultimately, I've always had to put one foot in front of the other just to make it work. To me, it never came easy. I didn't know outdoor adventure. I didn't know any of these other things. So, just ask Ashley about my skiing or the lack of skiing ability. That all I ever did was get out, know I was going to fall 1,000 times, but I just refused to stay down. I always wanted to get back up, and that's what I want the show to be about, is that when you mortal up, that's when the miracles come. Because I believe that the universe sits up and takes notice. When you don't have thin skin, well, at least when you're not a hothead wrapped in thin skin, and you channel your all-natural being, I think the divine, however you define it, and I think the universe itself sits up, takes notice, and then all kinds of things, to go a little Joseph Campbell on everyone, all kinds of things that you never really would have thought of will tend to happen because you are using the moment at hand, right? You are using what's going down right now in this moment in all of time to work to put your heart's highest priority top of the list, to work, right? To block the breach, to work, to channel your strengths, to focus on your strengths. And that's what I thought the show would be about, so that people, when they come in, they go, wow, he always tries, regardless of the setbacks, regardless of the chop blocks, regardless of the hurdles. He's, if nothing else, he's just plain stubborn. And that's what I want the show to be, where people would come in any particular moment and go, I needed a little bit of vaccine from the vapid. I needed a little bit of cognitive Kevlar, right? A little bit of inspiration to block me from the inane in the everyday. Or for that matter, Lee, as we go back to Noggin Cam, the difference between innate and inane. But giving permission to the listener to put their heart's highest priority top of the list. And we had mentioned that we'll be doing the Patreon account so that people that want to get in and want to listen, we're still going to do All Natural Being, right? We're calling it, we were talking with Henry and Matt about it, and obviously talking with you and Wayne about it as well, as this concept of invitational programming. We'll probably do a half hour each day when we get ready to do it, Lee. Half hour each day, and then we will have 2.5 hours of the programming that we've invited people to come to, and this will be my full-time gig. I'll get up and I'll work 12 to 14 hours a day to getting everything ready to make sure that it's a show people will be pretty fired up about. So there is all of it. So now, all that ado, I'll throw the mic over to you. Brother, what do you think?
Awesome. So what we'd like to do, what I think we're going to do here is kind of work on a sort of a value statement, a vision statement,
Okay.
However you want to call it. Something that's just overarching that gives people a sense of what you're doing
Okay.
and what they can get out of it. Because, I mean, ultimately, I know that you say you don't have to have anything to teach, but there's always that element of what's in it for me. If people are going to invest time, if people are going to invest money, if people are going to even invest their attention, then ultimately there has to be something that they can get out of it. And I think we need to work on articulating that as succinctly as possible, because you know how people don't really have a whole lot of attention spans anymore.
I got you.
That's why we have 6-second bumper ads and 30-second videos, because people's attention can be gone just that quickly.
Well, if I could give you as I listened to you say that, then if I could give you my thought on it, real quickly, I think that people wonder about their ultimate potential. I know I most certainly did, and I know that the discovery of a golf ball-sized brain tumor, what I've learned from it, what it highlighted for me was that humans, every listener, every human included, are truly made to aspire to amazing heights, and that you get to those heights by springing from the very depths of who you are, right? From the bottom of your heart to the top of your mind, that miracles happen when you mortal up. And I think that what it's taught me as I go through this, quick shot back to noggin cam. I need like a little light or something. You know what I think I'll do, Lee, is I'll put on a flashing yellow light when you know noggin cam is going, so you'll see when noggin cam is.
Yeah, that would be helpful because I really have no idea.
Oh, you have no idea? Well, I'm just trying to tell you when it's noggin cam. Okay, now it's just back straight you, brother.
Okay.
So, but that's what I was thinking about, is that where people, if they wonder about their ultimate potential, I most certainly did.
Okay. So let's play with that statement a little bit,
Okay.
because you opened it, and I like the fact that what you sent me opened with a question, which as you phrased it, was ever wonder about your ultimate potential. A question is a fantastic way to draw people in because it immediately makes them part of the narrative.
Okay.
Now, here's my thoughts on that. Is that, have you ever wondered about your ultimate potential? I'm not sure that that's the wording that people use when they have what I call a 3 a.m. moment. I don't know if your noggin cam's still on or there, but I'm
No, I'm on
underlining
you,
the
but
3 a.m. moment.
I'll go to noggin cam. Just
Well, yeah, right. So a 3 a.m. moment is quite literally the things that people think about when they bolt up in bed in the middle of the night and go, "Oh my God,"
Okay.
the things that are keeping them up.
All right.
So, to me, I can't say that I've ever woken up at 3 a.m. and said, "Gosh, I wonder about my ultimate potential."
Good point.
That's an underlying.
Okay.
Okay, wondering about your ultimate potential is an underlying factor here. But above all these are the things that you're more likely to think about, which it can be abstract and specific in the same time. Like, have you ever felt like there was more to life, but you just couldn't put your finger on it?
Sure.
If there was, have you ever felt empty and you just couldn't figure out why?
Okay.
Okay. The specific phrases that I think that people can relate to, because you want people to say, "Yeah, I felt exactly like that." You remember we go back to write copy that makes people say, "OMG, you get me," and
Right.
"Shut up and take my money."
Right.
Right. So the closer you can tap into those actual phrases, and that's why I always advocate doing spying on social media.
Okay.
Because you can see people saying these very real, visceral, authentic things that you're not going to hear them say face to face, or if you ask them. If
Okay.
you say, "Hey, what's your problem?" then they may come up something with something intellectual sounding like, "I wonder about my ultimate potential," right?
Okay.
But if they're being honest with themselves, it's more knee-jerk and more visceral. And so that's why I think, maybe we want to get away from the abstract a little bit and get more specific to start out with. We want to hit on something that makes them think that you've been like playing around in their heads.
Okay.
And saying, "Gosh, this person just knows me better than I know myself."
Okay, very cool. So what would be one then? Because just in listening to you going, okay, if I had a 3 a.m. moment, it was that I survived this for some reason, right? There's got to be some other way to, whether it's to pay back the universe, to believe that there's something else to do. So for me, it was like, okay, great. Now that I've been able to pull this off, now that I've been able to do this, what is that ultimate line that I'm going to draw? What is it that I'm meant to give back for yet another shot at life, right? And I still go back to that day, hearing the doctor saying to Ashley, there'll be a pre-tumor and a post-tumor, Brian. You will define your life based on days before and days after. And it just haunted me because I didn't want it to be where I didn't want that to be true. Do you know what I mean? I didn't want that to be the case. I wanted to come out. And now maybe that it's come out, maybe Brian 2-0 or 3-0 or 4-0. But for the remake, for someone listening and going, I've always thought that I could be more. I always thought that I was meant to do more than this. I want this to be their line in the sand. Does that make sense?
Sure, absolutely.
And I can just tell you from everything that went through with the brain tumor is this sense that human beings are truly amazing, truly, truly, truly amazing. And that when you spring from the very depths, when you think there's no farther than you can fall, that it's when you spring from those depths that you really can reach amazing heights, right? And that's when I go back to this, my belief that miracles happen when you mortal up. And that, to me, as Candace says here in the thread, I don't really think anyone knows their purpose in life. But could you unwrap it in the moment, Lee? Maybe they don't know what purpose they were born with. But could you, in the moment, unwrap what it is that the universe, if you decide to mortal up, and I'm right, and you decide to mortal up, and the universe is like, okay, time to send a miracle. You got to be aware of what's going on in the moment around you to even know if you're getting a text message from the divine, right? That's what I want it to be about, is that people that throw themselves into this particular moment in all of time, what it is that when they do so, what it is the universe has waiting for them.
Okay. I'm playing with something
Okay,
here.
go right ahead. Go right ahead. So that was it for me, right? Because as the people that have listened to me before, they know that, right before right after my second operation, I was pretty sure that I was tapping out. I saw, Henry and I have talked about it at length before, in terms of seeing the lights and going on to the next life and this and that. And I called for the nurse, who I didn't know at the time, just because I wanted to hold someone's hand. If I were going to die, I wanted to hold someone's hand. And it was interesting to me the other night, Lee, we were watching the movie Heat with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino.
Right.
And at the very end, one guy's a cop, one guy's a bad guy. And, this is a whole thing about them dueling throughout. But in the end, and not that anyone's going to run out and rent Heat now, so I'm not ruining the ending. But in the end, one of the two dies after they get into a gunfight, and he reaches his hand out, and the other one goes and holds his hand. Even though they were antagonists, even though they were on opposite sides of the gun battle, he didn't want to go without holding his hand. And as his friend, so to speak, or at least, a guy that understood what it was like to be that ate up by either the job or by being a bad guy, by being a cop or being a criminal, he knew what it was like to not want to leave this planet alone. He wanted to hold someone's hand. And when I saw that, it caused me to take a really deep breath, a really deep pause, because I knew exactly what he was talking about. I knew exactly how he felt. And that night, I just didn't want to go to the next life. Good evening, John. Thank you for joining us, and Candace as well. David Ray, thank you for joining us. Glad you found us. Wayne, thank you. Yeah, I'm still learning how to do this, Wayne, but thank you very much. I want people to think that given another shot at life, what would they do? No more asking permission, no more waiting for cues. What would they do to be able to put their heart's highest priority top of the list?
Okay.
That's another, I'm loving that shot. What's everyone think here in the thread? Hey, John, good evening to you as well. What's everyone think of the noggin cam in the thread? I like that, Lee.
I'm surprised no one has said teach Lee some penmanship.
No, no one's, the only complaints are about me working the cameras.
Okay.
Oh, you got to do the transition smoother. You got to do this. You got to do that. Yeah. So if anyone from Wirecast is watching, they're going to be like, Bri. Didn't we teach you any better than that? And let me just say this as a disclaimer, Lee. Yeah, I'm absolutely sure they taught me better. I'm just not that sharp, right? I'm just not, it's just not, you know what I mean? Brian, you were here for a reason. I truly believe that. Well, thank you, Candace, very much. And that's what I hope to be able to identify in the days and weeks ahead, Candace, is just what is that, right? I don't want to, this is going to sound a little shallow, perhaps. I don't want to waste anyone's time. I certainly don't want to waste my time. But, Lee, I don't want to waste the listeners' time either.
Right.
John says, love it. Great bird's eye view. Thank you, John. Yeah, just like me to pander for a compliment. Thank you, John, very much. It's called the Noggin Cam.
Yeah.
And Lee, you got to tell them. I've got the full camera shot on you now. Tell them about your idea about what you're going to put on the top of your head.
Oh,
How
yeah,
you can sell
absolutely.
advertising space.
You know, I'm thinking, as a way to begin monetizing Copy That Speaks, I'm going to get this space for rent printed and put on top of my hat. And then if you'd like to advertise on Copy That Speaks, just send me your logo, your tagline, whatever you want. We'll print it out. We'll put it on top of my head, and you'll be on the Noggin Cam.
Do me a favor, brother. Lean just a little bit forward.
Okay.
So see, there you go.
Ah.
There's your logo right there.
Okay.
Right? Your logo will be right there. Right on. See? How cool is that going to be? Let me get my name out of the way. Yeah, your logo goes right there, right on top of the Noggin Cam.
All right.
I think that's absolutely hysterical.
All right. Well, you know what? I think I've got something we can work with here, so I'm going to try to write it in black so we can actually see it when so I can do the big reveal, and
Ooh,
the
that
thing be
sounds
like,
great. Yes.
Ooh, yeah,
I know.
okay.
Everyone loved that last time. A lot of people. Candace says, you
People
may
are so
never
easily
know,
amused.
but I know, right? I follow all the shiny things. Candace says, you may never know, but what you're doing is awesome. Candace, thank you so very much. I truly appreciate that. John, thank you as well. All right, so Lee, let me know when you're ready for the big reveal. And you know what we're going to do? Renting headroom. John likes that idea.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like that.
What we're going to do before too long, Lee, because you still got 9 minutes left in your show.
I do.
What we're going to be doing before too long is maybe we'll set a clock, right? But I like the idea of putting that flashing amber light to let you know that Noggin Cam is on, right? So, but now you're straight ups because I want you to do the big reveal. That's going to be great. So
Right.
tell me when you're ready. But the bottom line of all of this is being in the position to say, miracles happen when you mortal up, right? That for me, that's what I had hoped to be able to communicate to people that'll be listening. That was my thought process, at least. All right, I can hear you
Yeah,
marking
I know.
away. This is
Down
great.
There. There you go.
No, take your time.
I pitied a fool.
Now, are we allowed to culturally appropriate like that?
What?
What you talking about?
Yeah.
Right? Or was it Mr. T? Yeah, he was great. I love that A-team.
I can culturally appropriate Red Foreman from that 70s show too.
Okay.
Appropriate my foot up your ass.
There.
So
All right.
here's what I'd like to play with, and see what you think of
Okay.
this.
Hold on. I'm going from Noggin Cam to the big reveal.
And see if I can actually read this. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you see this?
When life no longer.
When life no longer makes sense, it's time. It's the perfect time to hashtag mortal up. Let's go chase miracles.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. So you know what I need to put in this thing now? Applause.
Oh, we need applause.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me see. I might have. Hold on. No, I don't want that. I don't. A crowd guy. I go like this. Oh, right. Now here's a helicopter pass, a drum roll. I need applause. That's going to be the next thing. That was great, Lee. Thank you very much. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
That's what we'll do.
If I can take just a couple of minutes, what I'd like to start
please.
doing actually in this show is kind of explaining a little bit about
Please do.
the rationale, because one of the hardest things for me when I started this was just unpacking what goes on in this cesspool of a head of mine, with its grimy back alleys and felonious thugs and things that go in the night. It was extremely hard to unpack what goes on in there, because I don't even know really.
Sure.
I haven't even met all the people in there, so I like to be able to not just do it and then say ta-da. But, if people are out there and creating their own business, I want them to be able to better create their own copy. So, again, we're taking what you've taken. We've cut it way down, because you had something in the neighborhood of, you had about 30 words for a vision statement, and I think we cut it down to about 15 or
Okay.
so. So really the brevity, the punchiness is there, and we're saying the same thing, but just in a much tighter, succinct way. And that last sentence is a call to action. I love the value statements in with a call to action, and most people don't think to do that. They're just like, we do this and we do that,
Right.
and look at us, and blah, 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 aren't we awesome? But to me, let's go chase miracles encapsulates everything that you've talked about for the last 15 minutes or so.
I absolutely love it, because that's it. right? That's truly it, right? And now let me just say this and you can kind of let me know what you think. It's and it's been my understanding in studying this stuff, Lee, that you're chasing the miracles, but the miracles are also chasing you,
That's
right?
true.
It's like a tag team thing. So it's almost like the Mobius strip, right? Or the Klein bottle. You're chasing the miracles, and the miracles are chasing you. Everything you've always wanted has always wanted you. Right? It's a two-way street. It's just not you pursuing. It's not a predator or prey.
Okay.
It's like a joint predator kind of thing. But I love it because you know what I mean? Because I don't like the word manifest. People say, "Oh, well, you're going to manifest."
Right.
Come
Well,
over
no,
here.
I try to stay away from things like that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want it to be that touchy-feely. But
Right.
for me, that sense of miracles are coming. That's why I love that line.
Cool.
Now, is there anything about it, having said to you that my gut sense is that you're chasing the miracles and the miracles are chasing you? Is there anything about that thought when you put it in that would cause you to, like, when you write these taglines for future guests, does it cause you to go, oh, okay, is this like a chessboard? And you're going, oh, nice move of your rook or your knight there. And then do
Absolutely.
you counter with that and go, okay, great, now here's what we're going to do. Like, do you return serve, I guess is my question.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I've become such a big fan of doing collaborative coaching.
Okay.
In fact, I enjoy that more than just writing copy for clients now. I love being able to just sit in a room with an hour with a client and do exactly what we're doing now and the back and forth, because I'm not one of these the copywriters who's like, I know all the tricks and my word is law and this is how it has to be, because it's I think Gerald Coe, I want to say his name is, was talking about how all content is how all excellent content is a product of experimentation.
Okay.
And I believe that all great copy is a product of experimentation too. Otherwise, you're going to end up sounding like everybody else.
Sure.
And to take it one step farther, it's even more powerful when it's a process of collaboration. So I think that what we've identified here is that we're having maybe an issue with the word chase. So
Okay.
let me see.
And then, Lee, if you would, Candace asks, could you please read it again, Lee? So would you read what you have now?
Oh, sure.
What we did in the reveal. Candace wants to know what we're talking.
Yeah,
what was in
absolutely.
here.
Okay, so what we came up with so far was when life no longer makes sense, it's the perfect time to #mortal up.
Right.
Let's go chase miracles. And right now we're circling the word chase because I agree with you that that's not the perfect word, and that's cool. I don't want to use manifest.
Right.
I'm with you. I think that's totally hackneyed. I don't know that I particularly like the word attract, because that seems to go the other way, and it's also extremely overused. Okay. Find.
I was thinking find to myself. Find or make. Right? Because
Find,
it's
create, make.
Create, right? Because you do make your own miracles. When you right? It's a 1-2. It's a combination. It's a tag team. Right? It's if that makes sense.
I like find. I really do.
You like find, okay.
Just because it can go both ways with the discovering and the
Okay.
discovered.
So when your life no longer makes sense, it's the perfect time to #mortal up. Let's go find your miracle, or let's go find miracles. Would you make it more personal to the individual listener, or would you say, oh no, let's just keep it as?
I think that what I really like about the last sentence, in besides the fact that it's a call to action, is
Okay.
the cadence.
Okay.
I really like how it flows. I mean,
Okay.
because the better the cadence flows,
Sure.
the more it sticks in your brain. The more it sticks
Right.
in your brain, the more times people go, "I got to watch your show."
Gotcha.
It's like the earworm, the catchy song that you can't get out of your head. So, I mean, listening to it out loud, if we say, "Let's go find miracles," or "Let's go," what did you say? Let's go find your miracles.
Find your miracle.
let's go find your miracles.
Or your miracle.
Okay.
No, I'm just I'm more thinking about
think
for
that
future
implies that
guests.
there's only one and you're done and that's it.
Gotcha.
You know.
Fair enough.
I
Let's
think
go
that
find
life
you.
is a series of miracles.
Yes, sir.
Everything, really, if you look at it, the fact that I'm sitting here talking to you is a freaking miracle.
Absolutely. Every moment that all the different things gunning against us aren't pulling us down. No, that's absolutely great. Well, Lee, I can't thank you enough. Now, let me tell you about the self-imposed timeline because you wanted the show to be 30 minutes. That's right. And that looks on camera. So now, you know what we get to do, Lee?
What do we get to do?
You get to hear, well, you won't see it, but I'll see it, but we're going to put this really cool graphic up. And then let me say thank you. Let me say so that everyone, so what I got to do, and then I got to do this. Lee, Wayne's watching right now and going, will you please clear that? And now we're going to play this. Lee, my good friend, thank you so very much. We'll be back Thursday night, 9 o'clock, right? 9 o'clock Eastern?
That's right.
For episode number 3, and we'll polish us all up by then. But thank you again so very much for listening to us. Here is the Copy That Speaks outro.
I have a banana.
Let's see the banana.
Banana.
Why does your banana have tape on it, Lee?
It was in triage from episode 1, I think.
I think you're probably right, brother.
Yeah.
All right. I pity the fool. Good night, brother.